Hello and welcome back finally to a new episode of Kristin's Kitchen. The last video I did for Kristin's Kitchen was actually the summertime strawberry cake that I made, and I have never gotten so many pictures sent to me of a recipe from Kristin's Kitchen. I swear I still get photos every day tagging me in really cute little strawberry cakes, and I absolutely love it. But it's been way too long since I filmed one of these, and I'm very excited about what we're gonna be making today. We're gonna be making a pastry that I have always wanted to try called a Swedish SEMLAS, and I actually only heard about this from my sister, who basically lives in the pastry capital of the world in Copenhagen. It's basically a little enriched brioche cardamom bun, and then it's filled with fresh marzipan, homemade whipped cream, and then you top it with the little hat of the brioche dough, and then you eat the whipped cream with the little hat of the brioche dough. And I just need it so bad. It looks so squishy. I love any type of almondy flavor. I made Swedish cardamom buns a few years ago, and those were also a big hit. The Swedish people just know about their pastries, to be honest. So I sent my sister 2 different recipes to look at and tell me which one looked the best and most authentic, and she chose one, so that's what we're gonna be doing today. I have all of my ingredients, so let's just get started. I'm so excited. So we're gonna start out making the almond paste that's gonna go inside as like the marzipan filling. So we're gonna start with 200 grams of super fine almond flour. You can also just grind up your own almonds for this, but I am taking the shortcut with this one. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna do 200 grams of powdered sugar into the same bowl. A tablespoon of egg white. So I don't know if that's a whole egg white or not. I guess I'll just measure it out. This is such an odd thing to do. Okay. How do you get, okay, about 17 grams of egg white. So if you want to do it that way. Then we're gonna add a tablespoon of water. Bloop. Now we're just mixing this together till it becomes like a paste. So I can kind of shape this into a dough, like you can see. So we're supposed to actually form this into like a sausage shape and wrap it in cling wrap and put it in the fridge. So that is our next step. I think that should be good. So I'm gonna wrap this tightly and just roll it. There you have it. I think this is considered homemade marzipan. So we are gonna put this into the fridge and let that set. Now our next step is to make our tanzong paste. I've actually used this method before. It's a Japanese technique that's normally used when making milk bread, and it's a really cool technique. You basically cook together your flour and milk, and it becomes like a thick dough, like mashed potato like texture. I used this technique before when I made rolls for Thanksgiving this year, and I loved how they turned out. So I was excited that this recipe called for this technique. 20 grams of bread flour, 60 grams of whole milk, and 60 grams of water. I'm gonna turn this over medium. James stole one of my stove knobs and I can't find it, so that's what that is. You can see how the mixture is already thickening. This is so cool. See how it's already turning into kind of like that paste? Pretty sure this is the consistency we're looking for. So I'm gonna take this off the heat. Okay, I'm gonna set this over here so it can cool down, but you can kind of see the thickness that we're looking for, hopefully. Okay, now it is time to make our dough. So I have our kitchen scale back out, and we're gonna grab our bread flour and we're gonna weigh out 500 grams of this. I'm a little bit scared because I don't have a stand mixer. Well, I do, but it's in our like storage barn situation. So I'm gonna try to just work this dough by hand. I always think, do you really need a stand mixer? It definitely makes life easier, but think about when they were making bread before stand mixers. They were just using their hands. 50 grams of granulated sugar into that same bowl. Oh shoot, I just did way too much. We're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of salt, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that. Mix this together. This is where our tanzong comes in. Look at this, it's like slime. We're gonna add that into our mixture. I've never let it fully cool to room temperature before. Wow, that's a great texture. And then to this mixture, we're also adding 235 milliliters of milk. We're also adding 8 grams of rapid rise instant yeast. Now let's attempt to mix this up without a stand mixer. I feel like we're gonna be okay. We have like a super, super shaggy dough that looks like this. Adding our egg. If you hear a dog barking, that's Camper. I put him outside on his little like dog leash thing so they can run around and not go into the road, and he is not very happy about that. Now let's add the butter that I softened. I don't know if you guys remember, but I didn't have a microwave for so long, like 2 years. And I finally got a microwave because I just wanted something to heat up my coffee, and I didn't really not have a microwave for a specific reason. But I just always thought, oh, I have like a little toaster oven right there, so it kind of works the same, but not when it comes to heating up like liquids and coffee and stuff like that. I got like a super cute, cheap one on Amazon, and I just keep it in Marcus's office, and it's been very handy. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of ground cardamom. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. The recipe actually says to use fresh ground cardamom if possible. But at Whole Foods, the fresh cardamom was literally $16, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I'm using pre-ground cardamom, but if you have fresh cardamom, all the better.
Special delivery. Is there a Kristin Maria here?
Hello?
We have a special delivery. Oh, don't you look pretty?
Thank you. Hi.
Touch it.
Look, James. Okay, so I kneaded the dough by hand for about 5-6 minutes. Here's what it looks like. Just a nice little dough, not too sticky. I'm gonna butter a little bowl now and stick it in there. Now we're gonna put our dough right in there, and we're gonna let this sit in the fridge, like I said, overnight. And if you make bread a lot, here's a tip for you. I got a pack of these little shower caps on Amazon, and I reuse them, and they're perfect for bread because they just go right over your bowl like this. And it's like very good for letting your bread dough rise, and you don't have to use like a ton of cling wrap or a wet towel or anything like that. And then in the morning, we're gonna make our homemade whipped cream that goes on top and bake the buns and kind of just assemble everything and obviously taste test. So I'm gonna clean up this mess and go see James, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, it is the next day. It is the day we've been waiting for. We finally get to assemble and taste our Swedish SEMLAS. I just took the dough out of the fridge. It was proofing overnight, and you can see it doubled in size. So let's knock the air out of it. I will get a close-up because that is very satisfying. Here we have the dough. Oh, did you hear that air? This is a really great thing. You can bake bread if you need to get some aggression out, and we're just gonna put it out onto our clean countertop, and we're going to make this into our buns. Okay, so all of the dough together is 970 grams, and then we're just gonna divide that by 12, so each one should be roughly 80 grams. Uh-oh, James is awake. I just miraculously got him to go back to sleep. He never goes back to sleep if he wakes up early from a nap, but he did, so that's great. So I have my 12 little dough balls right here. Now what we're gonna do is shape them. So when you are making a ball of dough, like a bun or a roll or anything like that, you want it to all be one smooth surface with no visible seams, because you don't want the dough to pop open in the oven. So what I like to do is to get kind of a really nice smooth surface at the top like that by pinching all around, and then you'll see at the bottom you have something that looks like this. Cup your hand like this, and you're just gonna take the dough and just drag it all over itself. Using the surface tension, you're basically just getting rid of any seams and making it a really tight little package of dough. And then at the bottom you can see there's no visible seam, and this is going to be the bottom and this will be the top. So we're going to do that 11 more times, just in case it was confusing to see a side view. So pinching all that excess dough over on the bottom, flipping it over, making sure you don't have any flour or anything sticky on the surface, and then just dragging that little ball of dough over on itself. Finishing up the last little dough ball, and here's what we have. Now I'm just gonna put these on a piece of parchment paper because we're gonna let these proof for about another, oh, Marcus is home, for about another hour or so until they're doubled in size. While those are proofing in the oven, we're gonna make our homemade whipped cream. So this is gonna go on top of the almond paste layer. So we're gonna need 550 milliliters of heavy whipping cream, a little bit of vanilla extract. Fun fact, if you don't have powdered sugar, you can actually just put regular granulated sugar into the blender, and then you have your own homemade powdered sugar. Maybe I'm just dumb and I didn't know that, but I just discovered that a few months ago, and it was kind of life-changing. This whipped cream is really trying my life right now. I had to bring out my box of ice from my freezer because I just feel like it might be too warm in my house right now because we have the heater on. So I have been whipping this whipped cream for so long. So I feel like it's finally kind of coming together. If you ever can't get your heavy cream to turn into whipped cream, it's probably just because you're in too warm of an environment. So if you surround your bowl with some ice, that normally helps it. But oh my gosh, I'm sweating. This has been a real test of patience. Okay, we finally reached the texture that we are looking for. It's super whipped, but it's not over whipped because I wanted it to be really nice and pipeable because we're gonna pipe it on top of the buns. So this is the texture. There's nothing better than homemade whipped cream. The buns have doubled in size and just look how incredible they look. I'm gonna brush them with an egg wash now. Also, we have a little Sunny awake. Say, I had a good nap. Good job. Preheat the oven to 375. I really need to get James one of those little toddler stool things. Here, look, come help mommy. Be very careful though. Okay, James, we're gonna brush the buns with the egg and it makes them nice and golden brown. You see how pretty that looks? Say yummy. 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 Can you say bun? I'm gonna pop them in the oven and then I will see you when they're done. Okay, here's what the buns look like. I had them in here for about, I would say 10 minutes. Oh my gosh, they look so good. But now we have to finish making our almond filling, which I must admit is the part of the recipe I'm a little bit confused about because I thought that was gonna be what we were gonna be using. We're actually gonna be taking the almond paste that we made and mixing it with milk, and then we're gonna be mixing it with the crumbs of the part of the buns that we take out to make room for the filling. I've never done anything like that before, but it sounds interesting and I'm ready to go. Okay, here's our first one. This is like my tester, so I'm gonna take just the top off. Okay. And then here's what we have inside. Wow, perfectly baked, I must say. And then we're gonna take out some of the middle of the bun. That will make room for our filling, and then we'll just top it right back off with the little hat. Here we have all of our little buns, and then in here we have the bowl of the little crumbs that were left over. So this is what we're gonna put the almond paste and the milk in to create the almond filling. Okay, I weighed out 200 grams of the almond paste, and this is what we're gonna be grating into our breadcrumbs. So I got my grater. I just don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna find out. See how it doesn't really grate very well because it's kind of just all gooing apart. Grating is not working. So I'm just gonna crumble it all together, and I'm gonna also get a bigger bowl. Okay, now I'm adding the milk, and we just want this to be a pipeable mixture, it says. So Let's see if that happens. Okay, here is what the almond mixture looks like after I did it in my electric mixer. I tasted this and I feel like it's not as almondy as I was hoping it would be. I feel like I have read some recipes that people add almond extract. So maybe if you want more of that really bold almondy flavor, I would also add almond extract to that. So I'm just gonna put this in a Ziploc bag because I don't have any piping bags right now. Oh my gosh. I just ran to Bed Bath & Beyond before doing this video today and I got these piping nozzles. I didn't know they had piping bags that came in the box. That's perfect. So for the almond paste bag, I'm just gonna put this little rounded tip in there because then for the whipped cream, I'm gonna do this tip because it has like that nice whipped look to it. We've got the almond paste. Now let's pipe our first one. I don't want to do too much of the almond because I don't want to run out. So we're going to do, I filled it to about just the outer line. What am I saying? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to work on filling the rest and then I'm going to be right back. We've got all of the buns filled with the almond filling and now we're going to do the same thing but with the whipped cream. I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that I'm about to have whipped cream all over my hands, okay? Okay, maybe that's the height we're looking for. How do y'all think that looks? It's so cute. All of the buns are all filled up and now for the final step, the powdered sugar, which is the most gorgeous shot always. So let's do this. Here we go. Oh, have you ever seen anything so magical? I don't think I have. That is gorgeous. Tell me you don't just want to eat that right now. You have to make these. They're so cute. Okay, it's time for the most important part, the taste test. You can see the little almond cream right here, the whipped cream, the super soft brioche bun, and then topped with powdered sugar. This is a dream, okay? So this is how my sister said to eat it. You take the little hat off, then you scoop some of the whipped cream. So good. Super light, fluffy, perfectly chewy. The whipped cream is not too sweet at all. And this is just the cutest way to eat something, honestly. And now I'm just gonna take a bite of the full bun. You can see the texture inside the dough is so light and fluffy. And I feel like you can actually get the almond flavor a lot more when it's paired with all of the different textures and flavors. And it is so, so delicious and so just delightful to eat. Opens his mouth so small. Do you like it? You want more? I do. Okay, take another bite. You can taste it. I think he likes it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making these. And as always, I'm gonna have this recipe that I followed linked down below so you guys can check it out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for many more Kristin's Kitchen videos. And I love you guys and I will see you very soon. And I wish you could have a bite of this with me right now.